and Public Affairs at UDA, and he says, well, from the Secretariat of the political party UDA, you're seeing some of your members in political position are still giving more prominence to things that shouldn't be getting number one prominence in terms of their attention, right? For example, this issue that they're about to do right now, there are very many other things that they should be doing, and you're waiting for the political party to call a PG so that then you can see that you can get direction. What role does the Secretariat of the party have in maybe advisory to the leaders of Kenya Kwanza?
The Secretariat, of course, is the implementer of party programs, activities, and of course initiatives. The other thing that the political party, the Secretariat does is we then do generate data, we build up policy positions, and then push it upwards. That then informs the political different organs in the party. That, of course, now because we are the leader of society, of course, percolates into government. And the same also works the other way around, that a few programs could actually come from the other side, and then we help government to also help them ensure that it gets to the ground. So it's two-way, it's cyclic, it's complete cyclic, working all around.
If you see, for example, clearly this is connected from the people, what do you do?
I don't think that the PG could actually be entirely out of things that do not interest people, or rather do not affect the party. If, for example, this is an I actually look at this as an administrative issue. If in the process of running affairs, we find that there is an issue or two that are hindering the delivery of services, then of course it's important to sit through and do that. But I would say that I think the media, in collusion with a few people, are giving this too much light. There are so many things that UDA and Kenya Kwanza we do out there, serious stuff, and they don't find themselves on front pages here. So I'm just saying...
Serious things, huh?
Yeah, there's serious stuff. Like, government has been running. We've been able to sustain this government. We've been able to actually stabilize it. It's not been easy. It's not been it's not a walk in the park. So those important things do not find very good pages to actually lie on. Sometimes they go unreported. But then when we have got these periphery stuff, like just a party trying to whip its members into line to ensure that it's working optimally, then it's now stealing headlines and everything else. Like I told you, at the party, at the head, the Secretariat specifically, this is big news. We are busy doing other things.
What the media is doing is basically just highlighting that your leaders appear to be taking this as their primary focus, their primary attention of your leaders.
They have not told us at the Secretariat, and that's what I'm telling you, this is one of those issues that you discuss as a by the way. This is not a priority.
So this is a by the way issue?
It's a by the way issue. It's a small issue that the PG, one organ of the party, is dealing with. The other organs of the parties are busy. Next month, we have got elections running in November.
Arnold.
The National Elections Board is running with that.
Arnold.
We at the Secretariat are running our programs.
Arnold.
We've given the PG this little matter to deal with and dispense of it.
Arnold.
Yes.
Vacancy in the office of the president or deputy president is not a by the way.
It is a by the way
matter.
It
can be in the office.
In the office of the people, I'd be worried. The office of the people, the body politic that we serve, who actually have got all sovereign power, are out there. Their business is unaddressed. You cannot tell me that this is so big that then we stop dealing with the business of the people, we refuse, we stop being focused, and then come to this particular end. Kenya is honestly much bigger than its leaders. Kenya is bigger than UDA. Kenya is bigger than its politicians. The people of Kenya are sovereign. They are actually the supremo. And therefore, for us, when I tell you that this is, by the way, there are so many other issues we are dealing with. We've got bigger issues that are going to transform the lives of the people. And just keeping discipline, housekeeping on a matter of leadership up there that involves one or two people, that cannot be a priority issue. And that's what I'm thinking. The collusion between the media and a few people to actually give this one front page.
Why is your party leadership making this?
Have you heard the president, for example, speak about this? No, he's not spoken. The president is busy doing other things. Even those who are commenting, like in Parliament, the speaker the other day just said, this is a little matter, we will deal with it. It's not as big as headlines are making it.
The deputy speaker said, we shall impeach and I will lead. The leader of the majority has said...
Does he have an option? He's the leader of the House. So he has to do it.
The leader of the majority is spearheading this and has said, I will vote yes if it comes. Whips of the party in the House have said, we are taking this head on.
Let me read a quote for you. The majority whip, Silvanus Osoro, we advise the president to keep off this and let MPs do their job. Gachagua must go.
Exactly my point. And this reinforces my point.
And this is not removing the deputy party leader of UDA from a party position. Because that would be UDA internal housekeeping issues. If it implodes, let it implode at the corner. This is occasioning vacancy in the presidency.
Again, that is a job that is done by Parliament and the independent body.
The head of the executive that you say is now responding to the people of Kenya is chopping itself in half.
I'll tell you, if politicians seated out there, this is not entirely a UDA affair, because if you're going to impeach the person of a deputy president, it is the function of Parliament, and then, of course, it has got a long process. There will even be public participation. It's not something that they're just going to vote on and it ends at that particular point. But if you look at Osoro's point, reinforces my point that this is a by the way. Even the president should stay out of it. It's none of his business. Parliament is an independent body. If Parliament is dissatisfied with how an individual is actually working, they censure ministers, they censure PSs. And there has been processes, for example, where Parliament, specifically the Senate, goes through and ensure that people are impeached, including just the other day we impeached Kawira Mwangaza. So this is a process that will be around for a long time. And once Parliament has actually satisfied itself of this particular matter, then it will move to the party organs. As it moves to the party organs, when it gets to our part at the secretariat level, we will also do the needful. But at this particular point, it is in Parliament. So once Parliament has actually done that, and that is why tomorrow our parliamentary group as an organ meets, they take a decision. If there's anything that calls upon the secretariat to work out anything, we will gladly support them, because it's an able organ of the party, and we are there to facilitate and ensure that whatever they are supposed to do, they do and do it right.
Is the president, who is also your party leader, aware of these rumblings that are going on? Do you think that there are things that go on and which he's unaware of? He's the president, he's the party leader, but he's also Dr. William Ruto, who is very involved in details. Do you think it's possible that he's not aware that there are people who are pushing a particular agenda and is either okay or not okay with it?
I speak for very many platforms. I wear many hats. One of those that I don't wear is actually the spokespersonship, or rather the spokesmanship of the presidency.
Please,
he has one.
I didn't ask you to speak on his behalf. I'm saying, do you think he is aware of these things that are going on?
No, again, I'll tell you this, that whereas I consider myself a person who has got some level of intellect and some capabilities, I do not have the capacity to sneak into the president's mind and know if he's aware or not.
You're a smart person, aren't you, Arnold? You would see that you are a smart person.
I'd leave that to you probably
to an extent.
Me. But to say that, do I think, now that he has actually convened the PG, he definitely knows. No. That is why he's convened a PG. He will be chairing it, and here members of parliament are telling him that they want him to stay out of it because it is their business. So he definitely has had it, and that's why I'm telling you that from where we sit as a secretariat, this is a by the way issue. Unless and until a competent body organ like the PG has sat and given us direction, we are just reading these things in newspapers like the rest of you.
I'm a bit worried. I'm a bit worried because unless it is an Arnold Maliba position, that if you can see the presidency and half of the presidency seeking to be removed by the House of Parliament as a non-issue.
No, can we get this properly? That's a wrong way of framing this issue. The presidency does not have fragments, that there's a half, a 50%. It is that mentality that we have got some sort of shares in the presidency. The presidency, look at this, the president is actually, one of those things the president is a symbol of national unity. So if we are starting to talk about half the presidency and the others, we are already fragmenting that, and that is constitutional.
Perfect.
The presidency
so a
is
part
one.
of the presidency, it is one.
Yes.
But there are elements that make up. It doesn't matter what you look at. This microphone is
It is
made up
an
of several.
institution.
Hold on. This microphone is made up of several parts. If there's a part of it that ceases to function, the entire thing is compromised. And this is my question. If you are looking at part of a movement or part of an administration for which people have an issue, how can we say that it is an by the way, that it doesn't matter if we're looking at an element of something that contributes to its complete and total functionality? How?
I'd go back and say this, that if it were in the office of the people, if it were about the people, that the office of the people ceases to function or becomes dysfunctional, I'd be worried. That speaks to the exceptionalism with which we treat our leaders and leadership and politicians in this country. We must remind politicians that they are ordinary people. They are stewards who simply have been given an opportunity to serve the people of Kenya. Otherwise, if we have got this level of exceptionalism that there are people who are more than others, we lose the very spirit of the Constitution. Kenya will be there whether you and I are not there. You and I were not there during independence. We were not there when Mzee Jomo Kenyatta left. A number of us got born along the way when Moi was in control. But Kenya is actually perpetual. We keep on moving. Politicians must know that they are there on time. No one should actually look at their positions. And by the way, we should not confuse the person, the position, and the institution. Mm-hmm. That we shouldn't do. And that's what I'm telling you. People are having an issue with an office holder. They do not have a problem with the office. Specifically, I do not think that the Deputy President, His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, is the exemplification of the office of the Deputy President. He's not the first holder, and he's not going to be the last one. He therefore does not own it as of right. It's not him. It's not the office. So you cannot say that the office is failing to function. The office is functional. The presidency functions. When you go to a ministry as a CS, you're just one person. That's why when you go, you've heard about PSS being told by directors and other staff that utatuacha tu hapa. They've seen if there are people who understand the fluidity and the continuity of government, I think it's civil servants. All Kenyans must actually treat people in office that way. And we shouldn't cling to these issues. That's what I'm thinking. It's not a major issue. It should not be treated as if the country is actually going down. The country is not going down. The office is not dysfunctional. The office is not a problem. If people have got a problem with a person and how he's conducting himself, if Standard Group today has got a problem with how you conduct yourself, they don't scrap the show.
What are you saying, Arnold?
I am simply saying
that
we are making a mountain out of a molehill.
Okay. Who is we?
The media and a few people who are making noise about it. This is a small matter.
Kina Yua Osoro and Kina Kimani Ichung'wah and Kina Didmas Barasa. And they are making noise out of nothing.
They have a right. They do that every time when they are out there.
Can you tell them that? Can you tell them that?
I'm simply saying that.
Because, you know, you are head of public affairs in UDA, right? And as you clearly show that you understand matters of people and matters of leaders, can you tell them that? Can you tell them that they are in office, that it's the 30th, they have earned a salary, right, of 500,000 shillings each of those people I've just mentioned, from the people of Kenya, from hard-earned taxpayers' money. Can you tell them that it is nonsensical what they're doing, just like you've said it? Can you tell them that what matters is the issues that matter to the people of Kenya, that tomorrow they want to know how they go to hospital?
Yes.
That somebody wants to know how their child is going to go to TVET or university tomorrow? That a person who lost, because that's what we'll be discussing in the next hour, the people who've lost their children, their loved ones, their parents, they want to know who killed them or where they disappeared to. That the 400 plus people who have listed their names and said, we have a missing person and we think they are in these grounds of Shakahola, they want answers. Can you tell Kina Kimani Ichung'wah that? Can you, as the head of policy and public affairs, this is now the public affair issue. Can you tell them the public affairs are that these are the issues that matter to us?
Again,
and not
Eric. That framing, Eric.
The Rigathi Gachagua and impeachment and
that framing, Eric. That framing again is wrong. It comes from the place, and you will allow me to actually say this.
Please say it.
it comes from a place where we give some issues that really shouldn't be holding too much water. We give them too much prominence. This is the point. If you look at the order paper, there are other businesses that are going on. Like I'm telling you, this is just a by the way. It's not a major issue that should be occupying our spaces, filling news magazines when you look at television. It shouldn't be taking front page. Tomorrow, for example, I am glad as an individual that
so
for
the
the
problem
first time,
is the media here.
Tomorrow. No, I didn't say that. I say there's a collusion between a few people in the media and they're looking this for traffic. This is not an important issue. It should not be here. Let's talk about tomorrow.
So, can you tell your party leader and his deputy and the leadership of the party that calling a PG to discuss this issue is actually wasting their time?
That's not entirely what the PG is about. This is one of those issues.
Can you tell them that it should not even be one of those issues? It's a by the way. It should be an AOB.
Eric, listen now. Let's get moving here.
Is there an agenda for tomorrow's meeting?
There's so much.
Okay.
Tomorrow, for example, we are launching SHIF.
Is this issue AOB?
Once I look at the order paper, I will share with you, but I know others that we've actually prepared. The Secretariat, for example.
Can you tell them that if it's not AOB, then they are wasting
that's what I'm telling you.
time?
We at the party know that this is an AOB. It's not an important issue. And it must stick to that. The rest of Kenya should not be treated to this charade. Tomorrow, people for the first time, you can walk into a faith-based institution, to a private institution, so long as it's registered, and get the same level of services as we used to get in government hospital, for example. There are newer things that we will not. On board.
But we won't get it tomorrow.
Okay. But until we launch, you and I have not been to tomorrow, and I am in the planning part. So until you get there, Eric, you cannot, as a matter of fact, say that we will not.
Arnold, people have tried to register onto this thing.
I have registered Bangor. Those are teething problems. It doesn't mean that tomorrow...
The teeth of that person who has not been able to register mean that they cannot go to hospital.
No.
That is not a teething problem to them.
Eric, you cannot make a qualitative statement on a quantitative issue. Honestly, we shouldn't go that direction. That it's working, it's being onboarded. Tomorrow we are launching and moving forward. After dilly-dallying around this mountain for the longest time, those are the issues that matter.
So there will continue to be registration of people.
The task force that is working on higher education funding, for example, is sitting and coming up with proposals. We are
130 people.
We have got committee. IBC coming up. We are waiting for court to rule. That is more important because we have got over 10 places that are not represented. That people want food on their tables. We have harvested. We want to find for value addition. Those are the issues that should be moving on. This is a by the way issue. It's a small one, and we should not make it big. Anyone trying to make it big is taking us back to business as usual.
It's a constitutional issue. It would be. I would agree with you. It's a very small issue.
Even my food on the table is constitutional because Article 43 is in the Constitution.
If UDA was calling a PG to discuss the removal of their deputy party leader, among other things, it would be okay. But if UDA is actually calling to consider spending valuable parliament time to discuss the impeachment of a deputy president, then that's a big thing.
It's important.
It tells you the thinking of the leadership of UDA.
It's one of those things. For example,
how many bills are pending in that parliament? They have not moved. How many bills? There's a bill on disability that has come from the Senate. It's sitting in the National Assembly waiting to be processed. Will it be processed? No. Why? Because time will be taken to discuss this particular issue.
This is a motion and not a bill. A bill has got a process to it. That's what I'm telling you. This is a by the way.
It's
a small issue.
Time in Parliament is time in Parliament.
This is
if UDA is considering that these are small issues that you want to occupy our time,
the media. We are asking the media to treat this as a small issue. That's
what
I'm here actually here. But you are giving it headlines.
Yes.
You are not considering it
to show the people of Kenya how their leaders are thinking.
You
the priorities.
are thinking as Kenya before.
The priorities.
This is not a priority.
As NHIF dies, this is
Look
what...
At this. It is not the government that actually gave NHIF a very small
this is what the leadership
and made this bigger. It's not UDA that did this.
As grade 9 preparation...
This is the standard group that did this.
Arnold,
this is important.
As grade 9 preparations...
issue is important, but you are making this a sidebar.
This is what
the splash for
the leadership of the party...
This is not important, Eric.
Please, in that PG tomorrow, as the head of public affairs for this ruling party, I wish they give you time as a secretary to present what the people of Kenya consider to be important.
We have done all that.
And I hope that they'll listen to you.
We have done all that.
And I hope that in your presentation you'll tell them that the removal of a deputy president should not be occupying the time of a leader as busy as the leader of majority in the National Assembly, or a leader as busy and head of an institution as the Speaker of the National Assembly, or the Deputy Speaker of the National Assembly, or Majority Leader in the Senate. That those are not the issues that they should be concerning themselves with. It should be they're concerning themselves with delivery and making sure that the next bill that they process in Parliament goes through proper public participation so that we don't go to court and call it unconstitutional. Because Parliament is just doing unconstitutional things apart from this one that they consider most important.
No, I'm just saying that it's not Parliament that published the standard today. It's not Parliament that actually decided the headline. It's your editorial board that sat down and chose this. That's why I'm saying that this is a small matter, like so many other things that are happening down there. For example, my water yesterday broke up. It cannot be a headline. So let us push these things. As in the piping broke down. So it cannot be a headline here. It's a small thing.